This episode may contain content that could be distressing or objectionable to certain listeners. Please refer to the episode show notes for details. Discretion is advised. Welcome to Your Movie, My Movie with Dan and Steve.
I'm Dan.
And I am Steve. This is a podcast where one of us picks a movie to watch and we discuss it together. In this episode, we're talking about one of Dan's picks, the 2022 movie Big Gold Brick, starring Emery Cohen, Andy Garcia, Megan Fox, Lucy Hale, Shiloh Fernandez, Frederick Schmidt, and Oscar Isaac, and was written and directed by Brian Petzos. We will be talking about spoilers. So if you want to watch the movie first, now's the time to do so. But before we talk about this movie, Dan, who would you recommend this movie to?
Actually, could you do it first, Stephen?
No.
Oh,
no.
Okay. All right.
No.
All right. Well, I would recommend Big Gold Brick to anyone considering making their student film into a feature film.
Oh, was this based on a student film?
Probably. I don't know, but it felt like it.
Oh, is that what this movie felt like to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you think you think it's a good idea for student films to, get budgets and
No.
Okay.
That's why.
Okay, good.
Yes, this is a warning to anyone trying to make their student film into a feature-length film. Don't. Just write another movie. Please.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, Steven, who would you recommend this movie for?
Well, I would recommend this movie to a couple of people. First of all, I would recommend this movie to people who need to be reminded that just because we watch a movie for this podcast does not necessarily mean that it's an endorsement. You once said that perhaps we should give a heads up in our podcast as to what the next movie may be, so that they can watch that movie beforehand. But I feel that if we did that with this movie, it may be considered a crime against humanity.
That's fair.
I would also recommend this movie for our fans who enjoy when we talk about obscure movies that nobody else will ever talk about, because nobody else will ever watch this movie and talk about it, and for the best reasons. I feel that this movie is an amazing scientific phenomenon because it can distort time itself, and it can make 30 seconds feel like an hour. And I know why you like this movie so much. It's because it feels like a 20-something from 2012's YouTube made their own version of The Prestige.
Whoa.
Right?
Whoa.
That's why you like it so much.
That's hardcore.
Yeah. And, you keep asking me if I hate this movie, And no, I don't hate this movie. I'm just disappointed. And that's all I have to say about this movie.
That's it?
That's it.
Podcast over?
I'm done. I'm done. I mean, hey, it has a mirror shot. There's a mirror shot in the movie.
Yeah. There. Are you okay?
I'm fine. I know what I'm doing.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm just done.
Wow. I didn't.
I do have one more thing to say.
Okay.
Well, I have two more things to say.
Okay.
Okay. This movie was written and directed by Brian Petzos. And so I just want to say, and I look at his filmography, and before this he's only ever directed shorts.
Yeah.
And I have the feeling that afterward, all he'll ever direct is shorts. Because I just want to say, if you're going to make a dark comedy, please make sure that it's funny first. And not just funny to you. Because, I come up with the jokes that are funny to me, to just me, but I don't try to sell them. I don't try to, take people's hard-earned money and, use them as investments into a film. That would ruin my career. I don't do that. I just tuck that script away. Okay, that's what I do. And that's what I suggest most people do. And yeah, you can make a movie as a joke.
Yeah.
I just highly recommend that you don't make your first movie as a joke. Because then that's going to be the last movie you make as a joke and at all. So,
all wonderful advice.
Thank you.
Wonderful advice. Anyone out there listening, take this advice.
I mean, the one good thing that I will say about this movie is God bless Emery Cohen, because he as an actor, he really throws himself into the role and he does his best with this role. Because he's in a totally different movie than all the other actors are in.
Yeah.
But that's because he's trying his best. And so, I hope he gets work after this. I'm sure he will. I'm sure other people will. Well, I won't say that other people will recognize that, because other people would have to watch this movie to know that he's in it.
Yeah.
And then not hire him because of it. But nobody else is going to watch this movie.
No.
So his career's fine. And, Megan Fox got a paycheck as well. So I'm happy for her, too. And those are the best things I can say about this movie. It has a mirror shot, and Henry Cohen's a good actor, and Megan Fox got paid. And those are the only redeemable things about this movie.
You didn't like Andy Garcia in this movie?
He was fine. I mean...
I thought he did amazing for this movie.
No, he just showed up and he read the lines. I mean, it's obvious.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm not impressed by him. No.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, and now I'm going to turn off my iPad because I didn't bother writing any notes.
That's fair.
Because there's a reason to for this movie, and I knew it going a minute in.
Speaking of the first minute, what keyed you off? What teed you off to the fact that you didn't need to take notes?
I've already forgotten the movie. We just watch it.
Let me refresh your...
we just watch it, and it's the longest 2.5 and 12 hours of my fucking life.
It's just 2 hours and 12 minutes. It's just 2 hours and 12 minutes.
It's a very fucking long 2 hours and 12 minutes. The longest 2 hours and 12 minutes of my fucking life. A dark comedy that's 2.5 hours and 12... Well, see, I'm getting flustered already. A dark comedy that's 2 hours and 12 minutes. It feels like 2.5 hours and 12 minutes, this movie.
I agree, it does. It does.
Yeah.
Let me remind you of how the movie begins. We start with our protagonist, Samuel, floating in space with a presumably beer in his hand, and the liquid is floating in space, and he slurps some of it.
Mm-hmm.
And we get some wonderful voiceover,
Mm-hmm.
as we will for the rest of the movie.
Yes, we will.
At various random times. Just to inform us of, things like the characters and whatever the author was feeling to write at the time, apparently. I never believed in fate. I never believed in Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm.
I never believed in anything. And then it starts, cut to, the protagonist being interviewed by a radio host. And he's dressed in, he looks like David Foster Wallace on, 60 Seconds or whatever, 60 Minutes, whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
And, he's very serious, very dressed up. And the host is asking.
We are not going to go through the plot of this fucking movie.
Yes, we are.
No.
Yes, we are.
Fuck
Yes,
you. Fuck you. We're not doing that. Not this fucking movie. I'll walk out. I'll walk out. I'm going to go to bed. I'm not even joking. I'll get up from here and I'll go to bed if you do that.
Okay. All right.
Why? Why did you pick this movie, Dan? Why? For God's sakes, why?
Okay, so I watched this movie. My mom picked it up from the library, and she saw Oscar Isaac on the cover. Bless her heart. And Andy Garcia, and that's what we got. I can't believe Andy Garcia showed up to set for this many days.
Well, he didn't have to try. That's why. He didn't have to try. I mean, none of them tried except for Emery Cohen. And Emery Cohen had to try.
And Emery Cohen tried way too hard.
Well, he had to. He was carrying the movie.
I thought Andy Garcia was carrying the movie.
Oh no! He couldn't give a shit. No, he just memorized the lines and recited them like actors are prone to do. Which, I mean, I love. I love when actors just put it in like that. It can be fun. But with the fucking pacing of this movie, oh my god, I'm surprised with the pacing that you like for your movies. You didn't watch this before, and it's not as influential because this only came out in 2022.
Yeah,
but you love these slow-paced movies are slow-paced for no reason.
These are different. This is different. This is different. Different.
Okay.
I like slow-paced movies that make me feel like I'm appreciating something, like the world, or like art, or like a beautiful looking frame, or just almost like you're contemplating stuff. Like, I like slow movies that like put me into a Zen state almost. Okay. You know what I'm talking about?
I mean, this movie did make me fucking mindless, but that might not be what you're talking about.
No, this movie is not what I'm talking about. Okay. Because this movie
did make me feel very numb.
It made me feel numb too. By about that after the first hour, like I had because watching it the first time, when I watched it the first time, I was like, I couldn't stop watching it, but I wanted to, but I couldn't because it was okay. The reason I picked this movie is because it's terrible.
Yeah,
it's so terrible. But it's made well.
No.
In a way. Not made well. Okay. The people who made the decisions made the worst decisions.
Okay, yes.
But it's
crap. Well, there are people who made bad decisions but had great equipment.
Exactly. Yes. Bad decisions, great equipment. Thank you. That's perfect. But the reason I picked this movie is because it's so terrible. But I'm so glad that it exists. Because it means that there's hope, Stephen.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hope for what?
For movies that are terrible to exist. Like and hope for maybe even movies that aren't terrible to exist. You know what I mean? Like,
I have no idea what you're fucking saying.
Like, maybe there's hope for us, Stephen. Maybe we can make a movie and it won't be this bad.
Okay. I get that, yes.
And so I'm glad this movie exists because because it is an art tour. You know, he's an art tour. It's a visionary.
It is very
movie.
hopeful when you see somebody who is worse than you are.
Yes, exactly, and also like still got it made.
I mean, that is fair. I mean, he did have a feature made, before either of us did. So
Absolutely.
That's saying something.
And I'll quote what the guy said about The Room. You know, a lot of people talk about the ideas for their favorite movies and the movies that they're going to make, and then they never make anything.
Yeah.
This guy made a movie.
Yeah.
You might wish he didn't.
But should he have?
That's a great question, Steve.
And I mean,
but
seriously, though,
he had some bite in his bark. You know, he did something. He did something with his life.
That's true.
He wasn't an armchair, critic for his entire life.
That's true. And yes, this is definitely an auteur movie. This is definitely him making all the creative choices that he wanted to, that he should not have.
And no one told him no.
Yeah, nobody told him no, but now nobody will tell him yes.
Ever again.
Ever again. That's the issue. You know, when you make these auteur movies like that.
Well, not all of them. When you have no self-restraint.
Yes.
And when you have no
or someone else that you trust restraining you.
Yes, or giving you advice and you doing your best to actually listen to other people.
Yeah.
And I don't know what else to say. Like I don't know how else to describe it. It's just like you're not necessarily a genius.
Yeah. This is Brian Pestos's version. I hope it's Brian Pestos's. I did turn off my iPad after all.
I think it's Petsos.
Brian Petsos. Yeah. This is Brian Petsos' version of the Star Wars prequel trilogy. Seriously, because that's what happened with George Lucas, and that was the problem with the prequel trilogy. Was that nobody had the wherewithal, nobody had the balls to give notes to George Lucas and tell him, hey, these scripts don't work. And so that's why the, prequels turned out as, bad as they are. Now, I fucking love the prequels. I'm a prequel memer. But I understand that the prequels are not the best movies, especially script wise. And so, yeah, filmmakers need people to challenge them and push back at them and give them notes and let them know when they're not making the best decision, whether it be technical or even creative. Because shit like this happens. And I mean, I know artists, always dream of that time or that project where they can do anything they fucking want with it. Yeah. And, and really make what they want. And there's a good place for that. Even if it is terrible, at least you got to make, what you wanted. You got to fulfill your artistic vision. Yeah. With nobody to tell you no, but you also have to realize that, that's not always the best product won't always come out from that.
Yeah. The thing is like this. Okay. I love directors' first movies usually. Yeah. And then, so the reason I love directors' first movies is because they can make whatever they want to. Sometimes they can make whatever they want to in a way, if it's low budget, like nobody's watching in a way.
Well, the thing is yes, they can make whatever they want, but they're still restrained by their budget, the kind of actors they can get.
Right. Right. Yes, exactly. I was going to say that too, in a way. Yeah. Like they can make whatever they want within the confines, and they can make it like no one's watching because no one is watching. And if it's good, if they have good taste and good judgments, and this is art. If they have, interesting, artistically interesting and valuable judgments in whatever you want to say, then it will succeed and they'll be able to make another one. If it's like this movie and they get like too much money for their first movie and they don't have good judgment or whatever, then it's a train wreck. Yeah. It's like when a good director has been around for a while. Like this movie, when they've been around for a while and they get to make their dream project. Yeah. And it's terrible. Like it's not a good movie, but they already made their good movies, so they can get away with it. But this guy hasn't made any of those movies to be able to earn his dream movie.
Yeah.
And yeah. All right. So, anything else you want to say? Podcast.
We're not even 20 minutes.
I'm joking.
I'm not. I'm so done with this movie.
Oh, could we make fun of it now?
I've been making fun of it the whole time.
I know, but like specific parts.
Sure.
Okay, all right. That might.
I don't want to think about this movie. That's what you're gonna have to think about the specific parts. I already, did my burns and did my mic drop. I'm done.
That's fair.
I'll laugh at yours.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, the main character. What is it? What was his name? Emery.
Samuel. Samuel was the character.
The actor. Emery Cohen.
Emery Cohen.
He has been in famously The Place Beyond the Pines. Have you ever seen that movie?
No. In fact, as I was watching it, I don't think I've ever seen Emery Cohen before. And so, like, I thought that he was going to be the writer and director, and this would just be his vanity project.
Oh, yes. Hell yes.
Because it just seems like that kind of movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which makes the pretentious narration, and and the pretentious dialogue that his character Samuel has, it makes it even worse. But then I found out that wasn't the case. But I still don't like this movie.
Well, he is a character in The Place Beyond the Pines, and he does a fantastic job in that movie.
Yeah,
and he's like a serious role. So it's just funny to watch him in that and then in this.
Well, I mean, I already stated all the big names that are in this movie.
Yeah.
Andy Garcia, Megan Fox, and then Oscar Isaac for a day.
Yes.
And so, this feels like, those are big name stars. So it feels like they decided to do this movie just because they thought it was fun. But like I said, what they don't realize is, people invested money in this, expecting, a return or at least critical praise, some prestige to go with it.
Did they? Did they?
Well, people usually don't invest in movies they think are going to be bad. That usually doesn't happen.
Well,
usually doesn't happen.
Oscar Isaac executive produced this movie, or was an executive producer.
He lost a bet.
Actually, if you look at the other movies Brian Petsos has directed, the short films, Oscar Isaac is in like both of them.
Yeah, he's probably a friend from film school or something.
Yeah, exactly. So he didn't lose a bet. He did a favor.
Yeah.
You called it in before watching this movie. You were like, you must have just done it as a favor.
Yeah. They were doing this because they thought it would be fun. And I'm sure it's fun for them because, this is just a low budget movie where they can do whatever they want. And, it's wild and crazy and zany. So in that moment during the production, it's fun for them. But then people have to watch the final product.
Yeah.
And that is not fun. It's not fun.
It's not.
It's not fun.
It's not fun.
No.
But I don't know. There are parts that I liked though. Like,
okay.
And like is a weird word, but it is. Okay, it's such a goofy movie.
Yeah.
If it was like, I don't know, it could never have been a good movie. But if someone took this idea and rewrote it, it might have been better. Well, it could have definitely been better. But
I don't know because I don't know what this fucking movie's about. I don't know what this fucking movie's about.
I think it's
this movie. This movie isn't about anything. It's a movie where things happen.
That's fair, but it is about like this weird sort of character of I'm gonna write the great American novel. You know what I'm saying?
Is that what it's about?
It's kind of.
Okay.
I think it's slightly self-aware in that it's like it knows it's a little stupid because it's about an author.
It's a joke. It's a joke that only the writer-director finds funny. That's what it is. So yeah, I mean, yeah, there is some self-awareness to it, but the only person laughing is the writer-director.
That's fair. I like that it's just making fun of.
Yeah, well, yeah. So yeah, there's the writer, and then you saw me when you revealed that he was a writer.
Yes.
You looked at me, and I looked at you, and I just sighed.
Yeah, because
go ahead.
The main character, he gets hit by a car by Andy Garcia, and Andy Garcia like takes him to the hospital, and whenever the main character Sam wakes up, Floyd, Andy Garcia's character, is like, "Hey, I'm gonna take care of you. I heard you're a writer. The doctor told me you're a writer."
Yeah. and that's when we find out that that's what he is. That that's his profession.
Mm-hmm. His quote unquote profession.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah.
How did you think I felt at that moment? What was going on through your mind?
I think you felt how I felt at that moment in a way.
Okay.
You were just like, oh, it's a movie about a writer.
Yeah.
It's the self-insert of the director. And
I wrote down in my notes, one of the few notes I did. Yeah, author avatar. Oh wow. Oh wow. Look, another writer talking about himself. How original. Talking about the problems of writing and how weird writers are. Oh, look how quirky I am. I'm a writer. No shit. We all are. All of these writers are quirky. You're not saying anything new. Don't write movies about writers. Don't do it. Don't write anything about writers. Nobody gives a shit. The only people who give a shit are writers, but we already know this shit and we don't have to be told it. You can make good content, in which the characters are a writer. But you have to be good at it, which I know 99% of you are not. So don't do it. The only guy who can do it is the guy who did Adaptation. He's the only one.
Charlie Kaufman.
Yeah, Charlie Kaufman.
Adaptation's a masterpiece.
Yeah, it's a great movie. I watch it every time I get writer's block.
We should watch it right now.
I don't know.
Just kidding.
I just want to crawl into bed and not think for a while.
That's fair. So,
So things you liked. That's where we're going.
Oh, I like the one scene where he's having a dream, and very cliche of dreams. Oh wow, interesting, dumb. I don't know, whatever. But he's having a dream, and he's running away from a demon in a grocery store, and then he goes in the cooler, and then he falls out of space and hits the earth. And then we cut to like him on a park bench between two trees, and then the meteor hits the ground, and it's just like his dead, charred body coming from outer space. And then he looks over, and also there's him fishing, and the same picture is him fish. This is like the back of a fisherman, like in a painting. I like that part.
Yeah. The writer did put together very disparate. The writer put together disparate elements very well, and the editor and second unit director did a great job with those effects. Yeah,
they did.
Yeah.
I like that part, and I thought it was really weird. I just enjoyed it. I thought that was like the symbolism was interesting. I will say that. I didn't like the part where he's talking to Santa Claus.
Okay.
I never thought that was funny. Ever. Yeah. Why?
Well, you didn't say that about a lot of this movie.
That's fair. I did like, though, that he called it back from the beginning of, I don't believe in fate. I never believed in Santa Claus. And then Santa Claus starts talking to him. Yeah. I thought that was a little bit funny. A little bit nice.
Yeah, there was a good, there are some setups and payoffs.
Yeah.
And I would say what they are, but I don't want to remember this movie.
I think they set up the lightning bolt at the end kind of well. Where, the main character...
The Prestige lightning bolt? That actually teleports people? Have you seen The Prestige?
Yeah, I've seen The Prestige.
Yeah.
I've seen it. They're all your hats. They're all your pennies, Mr. Angier.
Yeah. I love The Prestige.
Yeah, it's great.
Mm-hmm.
It's good.
No, I think it's great. I think it's great.
I think it's great too. Back when Nolan didn't have to explain everything a million times.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he didn't just want to do James Bond movies.
Are you going to see Oppenheimer?
I'll catch it streaming.
Oh, this is going to date
too.
That's going to date this episode. Whoops.
No, it's fine.
Anyways, yes, the Prestige lightning bolts. I liked that setup and payoff, and I liked how Lily had a lightning bolt necklace.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I'd have to actually think about this movie to connect all these things. But it's like I told you, with how slow paced it is, I never connected those things.
Yeah,
because that's what happens when you have a movie that's so slow paced. It feels like it's just a bunch of random scenes that are episodic being pushed together rather than a cohesive, holistic whole.
Yeah.
I said whole.
Yes. It felt like a bastard version of Buster's Malheart in a way.
Yeah.
Like a terrible, terrible version of that.
Yes. I did get a lot of Buster's Malheart from this vibe from this movie. I can barely fucking talk now.
But Buster's Malheart was a lot different.
Yeah, because it had like purpose,
self-restraint.
Yeah, that too.
Tension.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this movie did not.
Yeah.
I did think the Floyd's character's son was pretty funny. Eddie, Edward or whatever. I thought he was pretty funny. I also liked Eddie. I thought he was funny. I like how he's just burning down a house in the beginning. It's like he's just the stereotype of a Wes Anderson character.
This movie does feel like it's making fun of Wes Anderson, or like it's trying to make a statement about Wes Anderson, or it's inspired by Wes Anderson, but doesn't do it as well. I can't know for sure.
I agree with all of that.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah, it's one of those three options.
Yeah.
But it's none of the good options.
Yeah. Do you really not like this movie? Because I can't tell with you. No,
I don't like this movie, but I am glad it exists.
Okay.
I was so bored watching it. I was really bored watching it.
Okay.
But there are parts that I liked. I just like how weird it is.
Okay.
But I don't like the movie.
All right. Okay.
If that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense.
I also like the sort of through line of the custard. What is his name? Uncle Frank's frozen custard or whatever.
Okay.
And there are some funny lines. I just don't remember what they are, but
I laughed. I chuckled once in this movie, but I can't remember where.
Oh yeah, exactly. But okay, whenever he's like on the ground, and then the big yellow letters will go across the screen and say "big gold brick" or whatever. It's like the movie is a microcosm of that. It's like it's a decision that is more that's not a good microcosm. It's better than just like white titles on the black screen.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that it's weird. I'm glad that it's weird and that it exists, but it's not fun to watch.
Every decision made is a creative decision. It's just not the best creative decision.
Yeah. Also, this movie feels kind of racist in parts.
Really?
Like with his girlfriend who's Japanese and is like,
oh yeah,
like a masseuse. Andy Garcia's character is definitely a racist.
Okay,
I feel, or maybe just slightly. I don't know. It was just a little strange.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's. I don't think it's so much racist. I mean, it could be racist. I mean, if other people tell me it's racist, it's fine. But I just think that my reasoning behind it was they're just making bad jokes.
That's fair.
They're just making bad jokes.
That's fair.
I mean, you remember that film festival we went to?
Yes.
And there was that one short film with the plastic surgeon.
Which
one with Robin Hood, the black trans femme named Robin Hood.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Thankfully, this movie is not that racist. I mean, but I was kind of thinking about that because also, what's that movie? Licorice
Pizza.
Yeah, Licorice Pizza. There was that one guy who had the Asian wife, and then
he didn't talk to her in Japanese. He talked to her in a terrible Japanese accent or whatever.
Yeah, and that was a whole thing. Yeah, that did remind me of this movie. That part of this movie reminded me of that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole conversation about it of whether that was racist or not. Like, if you portray a racist character, is that inherently racist?
Yeah, it's an interesting question.
Yeah,
it's a non-word.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Well, we're not gonna solve it on the
No, we're not. No, we're definitely not.
But we know that question is there.
We know that the question is there and it exists. Andy Garcia's character, to me, like, I know people like that character.
Okay.
People who just like tell you the craziest shit and expect you to believe it, and then they go on telling you crazy stuff, and yeah, you just have to. I work with a guy specifically who's exactly like this.
Okay.
And it's entertaining. I'll say that much. Yeah, but it's also like incredibly annoying because you just have to. Well, I could be confrontational about it and like say like, "You're stupid. I don't believe you." But
it's just easier to let them think that you believe their lies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I do like Garcia's character in that sense because like the part of that rings true, and the guy I know is like Floyd in this way too, where like Floyd feels like this philanthropist who feels like he's doing the best for the world. He's adopting this man who he just hit, but he's not a good person at all, and he's not special. He's just full of shit. And I do like that character aspect of Floyd, and that he's just he's a nothing who claims to be lots of things.
Yeah, I've met people like that in my life too, and I've met so many of them that now I'm like, you can say whatever you want. You can say how great and good you are. I'm not going to believe it. I don't believe anything that anybody says. What I believe is how they act. And that's how you have to judge people. Not by what they say they can do, but what they can actually do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Which is very tough in the film industry because it's all about hype.
Yeah.
So much of it is about hype.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, I like that part. And let's see. I also kind of like Megan Fox's performance and her character, because like her character was the only one that like called out the bullshit. And I thought that was interesting and weird. Sorry to give an onward. I
would keep, doing my shtick, but I'm just way too tired.
You're good. You're good. We can stop if you want.
No. We'll power through this episode in a much better way than I powered through that fucking movie. I mean, we already got about 40 minutes, so we're plugging along.
Nice.
A lot better than that fucking movie did.
Yeah, we are,
because we're getting the points and we're not belaboring shit.
Hopefully not.
No. Well, that's true too. Garbage in, garbage out. That's what they say.
Yeah. Yeah.
And no, we have not partaken in alcohol.
I like. Okay, all right. I'm gonna talk about some more things I like about this movie.
Okay.
And you can stop me whenever you want.
Well, you can talk more about Megan Fox if you want. Or are you done with Megan Fox?
I mean, I liked that she was. I liked that her character was like, you're a weird. Basically, just saying that, and Floyd is full of shit.
Yeah.
And that he's carrying around, the guy that he hit with his car. To feel better about himself, and so to avoid, medical charges, basically, or whatever, or avoid, being sued or whatever. And yeah, I like that. And I thought it was cool, a cool detail that she owned the house, and this whole time Floyd was like, "Yeah, I'm rich," and then
Yeah.
But it's, so I thought that was nice little details. Some of the lines. I'm just gonna read some of the notes that I liked that I did.
Well,
write down-
about
write down.
Megan Fox.
Okay, yeah.
Real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just glad she got a paycheck for this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But because we watched Jennifer's Body,
Mm-hmm.
we already discussed about how that movie is about, someone just being used for their looks and so forth, and all that meta commentary.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Megan Fox, she's getting work just because of her body. You know what I mean? Because, she doesn't have a lot of lines. And in lines that she does have, she, just kind of recites them, which is fair for this movie.
Yeah.
I would too.
Yeah.
But, she looks so goddamn good. Because there's there's that scene where she's wearing the bathrobe.
Yeah.
And that is a good looking bathrobe on her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But my favorite scene with her is later in the movie. You know what I'm talking about? Where she's in the office and it's all dark and you see her by the window and she's bent over and then it pulls back and somebody's taking her from behind. That's beautifully shot.
I love about that scene is she's looking down on the city, right? And she's you can just tell she's like thinking or something.
Well, I think she's just enjoying herself.
No. Because then she looks back and she nods and then it starts.
Yeah.
So she's just like, I don't know. I just think that's an interesting.
Well, she's a dom. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
She takes it when she wants it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I do like that sort of. I don't know. I liked her performance even about how she barely even cared about. She barely even cared delivering her lines, but it completely worked for her character.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I felt about the whole lingerie scene. That was a little weird, but it's whatever.
Well, you can say that we've seen in this movie.
Yes, absolutely. I'm just trying to decide if that was like I don't know.
I think that might have just been set up for when she was taking doggy style. I mean, I don't know.
That's fair. Maybe it wasn't completely gratuitous.
If you just go from her, because if you think about, the scenes that she's in, which aren't a lot, it goes from, we see her introduction at the, law offices, where she walks in the hall and then, she has her boy toy walking behind her and then she closes the door. So there's that. Then there's the dinner scene, which is over in a minute, but doesn't feel like it. And then the scene after that is when she walks in on Sam and, they just talk. She's like, "Hey, are you okay?" And he's like, yeah, I wasn't talking in here, was I? And she's like, "Yeah, you kind of were." And he was like, "Oh." And then she's like, "Okay, well, I got to go to work. Bye." That's literally how it goes.
No, that wasn't Megan Fox.
That was Megan Fox.
No, that was the other character.
No, that was Megan Fox. I know it wasn't Megan Fox, but I'm not going to put that fucking movie on again to make sure.
We should turn it back on and enjoy it.
No. It was Megan Fox.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because Lily comes in later.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's that, and then that's when the lingerie scene happens, and then after the lingerie scene, then we have the office scene, where she gets taken behind doggy style. And then after that is when she meets up with
there's the confrontation.
Yeah, the confrontation
with Floyd. She's walking out with a boy toy, and Floyd is walking out with his other chick.
Yeah,
and Sam is also there.
Yeah,
and she's like, "You suck."
Yeah,
and then that's when she says the lines of "You're just walking around with your massage therapist and your biographer who you hit with your car."
Yeah.
Which, I liked that scene. I liked her characters, whatever. And
I think that's it.
That's pretty much it.
So she was there for 3 days, maybe?
Yeah, maybe 3 days tops.
Yeah.
I was also, watching this movie the first time, I was like, there are so many locations. It's insane. Again, that's one of the things that amazed me about this movie was just all the random locations that they picked. And it's so ridiculous. You don't need half of them, but they just did what they wanted to do, I guess.
I mean, that's how their script was, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But some of the locations were absolutely gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Like the freaking mansion with Oscar Isaac's character in it was amazing
I
looking.
was nodding off at that point.
You were asleep?
I was nodding off.
Oh, okay. And then
Yes. Yes, people. I tried. Okay, I tried. And I tried very hard with this movie. But
that's fair.
I know you're not. I'm just telling our listeners.
Did you at least see Oscar Isaac perform at all?
Barely. I mean, I know he talked and he wore his glasses and then he ate custard at the end and something happened.
Did you hear his crazy accent though?
I was big,
it was like.
I was just reading the subtitles. I can be asked to, actually listen to this movie.
Oscar Isaac showed
because
up.
there's so much pretentious, voiceover iteration, and I just block that out. And what is it?
You're okay. You're okay.
I laid back and I thought of England. Okay.
Yes. Well, Oscar Isaac's character was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But it was funny to watch because you knew he was there for half a day, and you're like,
but I'm sure he had fun with the role.
Yeah, I'm sure.
What's really important.
He got like glasses with an eye patch and a peg leg practically, and he got to shoot a guy with a machine gun and have like a weird accent. It was great.
Yeah, but now I really want to watch Driver because that way I can see Oscar Isaac beating the fuck up.
Oscar Isaac is great.
I love Oscar Isaac, but after I watch this movie, I want to see bloody for a bit.
I don't know what Driver is, but it was a...
Oh, that's a Ryan Gosling movie.
Drive?
Oh, yeah. Drive.
He's in Drive?
Oscar Isaac, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I haven't seen Drive.
Oh, it's
but
great.
I know about it. I mean,
it's
all
great.
all the film guys love it.
It's fucking awesome. His oh god, what's his name? He is the voice of Nemo's dad. The actor from Finding Nemo.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh fuck. Albert Brooks, I think his name is.
Okay.
We're gonna watch some of his movies. But if you saw, I mean, he usually plays like a really like nebbish Jewish guy. It's fucking awesome. But in Drive, he plays the scariest mob motherfucker you've ever seen. I fucking mean it. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some other things about this movie?
Yeah.
Or we can stop. What were we gonna say?
Oh, I was just gonna talk about Drive some more.
You can if you want.
Move on.
I like the part where he took out the suicide note and it just said, "I am done with this world."
Oh yeah.
And it was spelled with DOME. I thought that was a nice little bit. Also, Andy Garcia hands him a micro cassette recorder. And he like plays it, and it's like Andy Garcia like singing in the shower. I thought that was a funny joke. Also, it made me want to buy a micro cassette player, and I bought one on eBay, and I got there and it didn't work, and I was sad. And I got my money back, so I actually have a ton of micro cassettes, but I don't have a micro cassette recorder or player.
Well, I'm sure we could find one.
I'll find one day.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe
we'll use it to record a podcast episode.
That would be hilarious and completely pointless and sound terrible, but let's do it, honestly.
Well, I mean, for the hipsters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We'll put it on our whatever Etsy page or whatever.
Yeah.
I liked another line whenever they're sitting down to start talking about the biography. And Sam asks about the portrait of Napoleon. And Floyd is like, history has misjudged that man, and it's a tragedy.
Oh, I fully fell asleep while that was going on.
I thought that was a hilarious line. And it, was beautifully insightful to Floyd's character. Let's see if that was a weird little Easter egg in that dream sequence I was talking about. There's he's pushing a grocery cart in the beginning. It's like a grocery store at night. There's no one in there, and there's something stuck in the wheel of the grocery cart. So he bends down and picks it up, and it's like a class photo of a blonde kid with a bowl cut in like a leather jacket. And I just thought that was hilarious.
It might have been him as a kid.
I think it was, because later in the dream sequence, he finds that piece of paper like in his pocket or something, and the face is scribbled out. He unfolds it, and the face is scribbled out. That's after he finds the dead body of himself.
Well, he finds the dead body of himself, but then he also sees himself fishing.
Yeah.
So it's like a weird time thing going on.
And the fisherman like mouths, "I'm sorry" or something like that.
Yeah.
And then whenever he wakes,
but it's him as a fisherman.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's him as a fisherman.
Yeah.
And then he wakes up and he looks, and underneath the photo of the fisherman, it's engraved with "I'm sorry."
Yeah.
That was the most interesting part of the movie. Definitely. I don't know what it all meant.
Nothing
It
at all.
didn't mean anything, but it was interesting.
It was the screenwriter showing off that he can do setups and payoffs very well. Unfortunately, they don't mean much in this movie.
They don't mean anything. They mean nothing.
Yeah.
Sam's wigs were terrible the entire movie. Or if that was his actual hair, it was...
No,
It was
well,
so
I
annoying.
mean, I don't know. They look like wigs. I'm fairly certain they're wigs. So,
Yeah. And the physical comedy he was trying to do was not funny to me.
No.
But I applauded him for trying. Let's see.
Well, I blame the director for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I blame the director for everything.
There was another funny line. Whenever they interview Beans Washington, the high school basketball player with the beard and who's like 7 foot tall.
Yeah.
They're interviewing after the game.
Now that joke might have been a little racist.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yes.
That one might have been a little racist. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I was gonna bring that one up too. But anyways, after Beans threw the game and he's interviewed and he's like, I think I'm getting that pink eye.
Yeah.
I thought that was a great line. Yeah. Let's see. Boom, boom. I also liked whenever they show up to the mansion to Anton Vogelvy's house.
Okay.
Who is the mobster guy who is Oscar Isaac.
Okay.
Samuel comes in, Sam, and he asks the attorney guy who is, Oscar Isaac's second cousin and I don't know, his attorney and his sidekick or whatever. His yes man. He's like, "Oh, Anton Vogelvy, is that related at all to the propagandist filmmaker?" And he's like, distant relative. I just thought that was funny. In a vague sort of sense.
I will say, what I thought was mildly funny was when they showed Sam go to that film festival for, that supposed German filmmaker, I guess.
Yeah.
And so it's just a black and white movie of like bombs coming out from a bomber plane.
Yeah.
And they cut to him sitting in the chair and he's just holding, a cup of soda and then a bucket of popcorn.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah. That's exactly what a cinephile would do,
Absolutely.
Watch these, fucking pretentious European black and white movies with, a soda and a popcorn.
Absolutely.
But it wasn't funny enough to make me actually chuckle.
No, that's fine. Yeah. That's fair. I also liked in that scene whenever they come in and there's a little boy in like a Beethoven outfit playing the piano. It's just so stupid.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's stupid.
Hey, I already told you I agree. This whole movie is stupid.
I'm not gonna stop. I can't stop. Okay. This is just me gonna be grumpy Steve.
That's fine.
Talking about
that's fine.
How crap this movie is.
That's fine. I'm gonna tell you everything I like about this movie.
We're almost at the 55-minute mark, and I'm just amazed.
And it's all because of me. I've carried this whole podcast.
You definitely are.
And I'm completely fine with that because it's hilarious.
Okay. But now it's yay.
Because you're hilarious.
Well, we've devolved though, because it's like, hey, you know what happened in that movie? Wasn't that funny? That's what we're doing now.
I know.
Okay.
But it's still funny because you're hating every minute of it.
That is true. Well, it's true I'm hating every minute of it. I just don't know if it's funny for our listeners. So.
Well, they can stop anytime they want.
That is true.
Hopefully they do if they're not having fun.
Maybe we should do a content warning.
Yeah, we should put a content warning in the beginning.
This episode might be a bad episode. Listener discretion is advised.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
One more thing I liked about the movie.
Okay.
They're bringing up the biography of Floyd's character, but the actual real one, and not all the lies that he's told Sam.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, and they're like, freaking con man, went to jail, blah blah blah. Fabrizi auto salesman, used car auto salesman. And he's like, hey, I never sold used. I thought that was great. Okay. Yeah. I don't know why the Wolfman was there, but that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Well, not funny. It was
a thing.
It was haha. It was. Oh, I see what you did there. There's a Wolfman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm done. I think.
Okay.
It felt okay. Also, it felt like a terrible bastardization of Wes Anderson. A Kurt Vonnegut novel, and a bag of piss.
Yeah. Well, and The Prestige.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm so ready to be done. Well, I don't know what to talk about first. Okay. How would you? Okay, if you were given the script, okay, and the writer of the script didn't direct it. You were given the script, but you had to make it. What would you do with the script?
Could I change the script?
Yeah. Well, you're the director, so yeah.
What would I do with the script? Well, there's like a couple options. You could turn everything up to 11.
What is it? What?
No, because this movie wasn't turned up to 11. This movie, everyone. Okay, the movie was, but nobody was like, there wasn't enough cocaine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the things I wanted to talk about. I would have loved to have seen Lucy Hale be more of a coke whore. I probably would have loved the movie, yeah, if she was more of a coke whore.
Yeah.
Their words, not mine, by the way.
Yeah. No, he's not just saying that.
Yeah.
That was Megan Fox called Lily that.
Yeah.
Lily's character that.
Yeah.
But why are you laughing? Because you already think it's turned up to 11?
Yeah.
Okay, it is, but it's not absurd enough.
Oh my God.
It's not funny enough. So
Well, it's not funny enough, but that's because you don't just have to have absurdity to be funny. You need more than absurdity to be genuinely funny.
I would make it...
Which is the problem that YouTube filmmakers have, especially, the Gen Z stuff. You can't just be absurd,
Yeah.
I mean, you can be if you want to cater to like teenagers and tweens, but they have no sophisticated sense of comedy, so they're gonna laugh, at farts. You know what I mean? So
I don't know. I guess. Well, I'm telling you, I think what would make this better movie.
I'm sorry.
I'm trying my best here, Steven.
I'm sorry.
It's okay if you don't like my imaginary movie, but it's not made for you. So
that's true. That's true.
No, I would do that, or I don't know what else. You just rewrite the movie. I don't know.
Okay.
How would you make it? What would you do with this script, other than throw it out and burn it and piss on it?
I don't know. I might make it kind of like a. I don't know. I might make it like a dark character drama where I would keep the plot, the basic plot, but I would just like make everything like dark and taunt. There's this man who hires this biographer.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Then he's lying about who he is, and then the biographer has to find the truth of who he is, and then he falls in love with the daughter, but the daughter really is a coke whore, and so he tries to redeem her, but she doesn't want to be redeemed. Just take it from there.
It sounds like a Paul Schrader movie.
Okay,
that I would enjoy watching.
Yeah.
Well, we could do that. We could write that movie, but I don't feel like it.
Okay, that's fair.
You can if you want. I'll try and help you if you want.
I want to get paid.
Yeah.
I need to get paid.
It does sound like an interesting movie, though. I agree.
Yeah.
And in the end, like the guy who he's writing about is like his past and his lies catch up with him and he dies. And
then, because of the gambling debts and so forth.
And then in the end, maybe the biography is a success because it's
Yeah.
A tragedy.
Well, it's not that guy's biography. It's the biographer's story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So he, takes from it and, makes it his own and gets his own money that way
Yeah,
and leaves the family in the poorhouse.
sure.
Even though he plagiarized from them, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah.
I like it.
Uh-huh.
I like it. It's better than my movie for sure.
Well, yours is more attainable though.
Maybe.
Well, and I will say, I just know, I have a feeling that if this movie were to get traction, it will probably become a Gen Z cult classic.
This movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, it might become a cult classic because it's so bad.
Yeah. It reminds in that way it reminds me a lot of like Pootie Tang.
I don't know what that is.
Okay. You might find out, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. It's Pootie Tang is an example of anti-comedy. Where you have to question where it's things that seem to me to be funny but aren't actually funny. And the fact that it isn't funny is what's funny. So yeah, maybe we'll have to watch it and figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm potentially down.
Okay. But not anytime soon. Let's watch a few more movies that we know are good first.
Okay.
Okay.
Fair.
Okay.
No guarantees, but I'll try.
Okay, that's fair too.
Before you go, a special thank you to our bestest friend of the show, Brian. Thank you, Brian, for supporting Your Movie, My Movie. Now, if any of you would like to support the show, please check out our Patreon at patreon.com/yourmoviemymoviepodcast or leave us a review on whatever you're listening to us on. Thank you for listening and thank you for your support.
And if you'd like to listen to a little bit more of me, Steve, then be sure to check out Real Play Games Podcast. Real Play Games Podcast is an actual play role-playing game podcast where GM John runs his friends, me included, through a bunch of tabletop role-playing games, some pretty popular, and some of them obscure. They release episodes every week using a variety of different role-playing game systems. I'm not in every episode, but all of them are fun to listen to. So if you're looking for another great podcast to listen to, be sure to check them out.
All right, so that's this episode, right?
Are you done?
I'm done.
Okay, let's be done.
Okay, let's be done.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you for listening if you made it this far. Bye.